Welcome to Life Systems Software and the presentation of the ChiroOffice program, the office management solution for your office. This is Dr. Paul Bindell. It will be my pleasure to guide you through the features of this system. As we open the ChiroOffice program, the first thing we see is the front desk screen. On the front desk there is a wealth of material. First we see who are the patients that are scheduled for today. By one click of the mouse, we can bring up the missing in action list. In other words, those patients that had scheduled appointments but missed them and have not yet rescheduled. We see who is signed in that is physically here in the office, and we are able to look up patients that are not on the list by clicking in the name box and then typing in that individual's last name. There is also the ability to look up patients by chart numbers, x-ray numbers, home phone, and social security number. You can have the system show you all patients in the practice, or set it to only active, or if you're doing recalls, inactive, or whichever selection you would prefer. As each patient comes into the office, the system counts how many patients have come in for the day. This patient is number 1 at 6:30 in the morning, so it shows just number 1. By the end of the day, hopefully it will show several hundred. We would click on the new icon in order to enter information for a new patient, or we could click on the Open Patient file, and that will bring up that individual's information, showing us their phone numbers, the last payment dates for both patient and insurance, and what is the balance. If there is an appointment scheduled for that patient, it will tell us that there is one, what was the date of their last treatment, and who referred them into the practice. We will also get a brief summary about who their insurance carriers are and what are the co-payments. In order to check in somebody, it's relatively simple. We click on their name and sign them in. Once the patient is signed in, the patient obviously goes back into the adjusting or treatment room and is taken care of by the doctor. When the patient returns to the front desk, we click on the patient's name and check them out. If they do not have an appointment already scheduled, the system ensures that you will get that next appointment by bringing you straight to the appointment scheduler screen. Today's date is circled in red. The date you want to schedule the appointment for is circled in blue once you click on it. You then choose the time for the appointment, and when you go to enter the appointment, if the services that you're trying to enter do not match the treatment plan that the doctor has documented in the ChiroPad system, then you will get a warning notice that says that the notes and the billing do not match. If you select yes, then it transfers the plan for the next visit to that which the doctor has prescribed. If you want to set up multiple appointments, it is very simple to do. And then once they are scheduled, when you get to the transaction screen, you can also click on all future appointments, print out the list of appointments for the patient, and this way the patient will know that they have a commitment to be in your office on these specific dates. The transaction screen also provides you with a wealth of information and selections that can benefit your practice. If you are using the ChiroPad program, then the services are going to be entered automatically based upon the documentation entered by the doctor. However, if you are using the ChiroOffice program as a standalone program, then you would have it set to ChiroOffice plan, which means that it will be entering transactions automatically based upon what you have put in the appointment schedule as the anticipated services to provide to this patient. Once the patient is in the office, if you need to, just by clicking on the appropriate code, you would be able to enter those additional services that you provided on that specific date of service. On the other side of the coin, if you are using only ChiroOffice and do not have ChiroPad, then you'd also be able to click on On-Demand Macros and make a selection of codes that you have set up, click on Apply, and that will automatically enter all the services that you need to enter for this particular patient. In the Diagnosis Relationship column, you are then able to enter, based upon the diagnosis codes that will appear on your HCFA form, exactly which code applies to which service. By doing diagnosis pointing, also called diagnosis tagging, you will be able to increase the income that you receive in your office. At this point, for this patient, the copay looks relatively large simply because the patient has not yet met their deductible, and that is still being worked on. However, the system will still produce the insurance claim that will go out to the carrier. In the upper right corner of the screen, you see a front desk collections area, which is telling the front desk what they should be collecting from the patient right now. The copay is based on today's visit. The patient column is based upon that which has been rejected by insurance since the last visit, for which the patient is now responsible, and previous is how much was left over from the patient's last visit. The SALT button stands for same as last time, and just by clicking on it, it will automatically enter whatever services you provided on the patient's last visit as if they were today's. In the lower left corner, you see a summary of each of the patient's insurance carriers, how much of the deductible has been met for each one, and whether or not there is a copay. The digital travel card message applies only if you have the ChiroPad program, in which case the doctor enters the message while he's in the adjusting room with the patient, and you receive it when you come to this screen. The capture signature area is for the patient to sign out, similar to when they are in Bloomingdale's, Macy's, or Home Depot. They get the list of charges, and they sign a statement that says that, yes, I am responsible for these. That signature then becomes embedded in this specific transaction, and it is substantiation and proof that they were physically present in the office at the time the services were provided. When you save the transaction, it closes and brings you back to the front desk screen so that you can now move on to the next patient. However, while we have this patient open, there are certain other points I would like to show you. In the miscellaneous area, for each patient, you can have a separate telephone log. You can set up your own categories. You would enter whatever the information is, and then once that information is saved, it will appear on this screen. Also in the system, we have what we call patient letters. These letters can be used for collection or for patient education. In some instances, there are the blank forms that, if the patient was involved in a car accident, you'd be able to have it personalized for them and just have them fill in all the information that the system needs. There are financial authorizations, HIPAA authorizations, and the intake welcome new patient blank, among many, many others. You would be able to print these letters instantly for any patient that you chose, or if it is something that is appropriate to send to a group of patients, you would be able to produce a bulk printing where each letter was individually personalized. The pop-up reminders can be used at any time in order to get specific messages about this patient to other staff members in the office. Within the diagnosis area, you set up your own diagnosis patterns so that way, instead of having to scroll through hundreds of diagnosis codes to find the ones that you need, you would be able to simply just click on the pattern of your choice and then choose the items that you want. In order to create a new diagnosis, you click on the green starburst, choose the items in the sequence in which you want them to appear on the HCFA form, and then you would simply click Apply. Also, we have what we call a diagnosis visitometer, and that is for counting the patient visits so that you will know when it is time to produce a new diagnosis for the patient. When you are completed, click on the Save icon, and then you will be able to move on to the next area regarding insurance processing. From the front desk screen, click on Tools, go to Insurance Manager. Our first stop is the pre-billing report. Any patient whose name appears on this pre-billing report will not have an insurance claim produced. The reason is simple. The missing information from their file is information that would guarantee a rejection because it's not present on the claim. Once we go into each patient's file and enter this information, we would then be able to move into the claim registry area, click on Create, and then answer each question as yes, and it will produce the new claims. We are then able to look at the Internet Disk Image area, which is for electronic claims, and we will see that these claims are ready for uploading to the clearinghouse. For those claims that need to go on paper, we would select HCFA 1500, and that will show us those claims that are ready to be printed. And then we simply put the HCFA forms in our printers and click Print. A special side note regarding the electronic claims area from ChiroOffice. Once you are a client of ours, we guide you to those clearinghouses which charge you the least possible. For electronic commercial insurance claims, there is no charge, period. They are free. For electronic government claims, at this point in time, there is a 15-cent per claim charge, unless you are going to be sending out more than 133 government claims, that's Blue Cross Blue Shield, Medicare, and Medicaid per month, in which case you would be able to lock into a set fee of $20 per month. In other words, the system not only makes you money by keeping your billing up to date, it also saves you money by reducing the charges for your electronic claims. Also in the Tools area, you would be able to access the reports. When you look at all the reports that are in the system, it is very clear that you have many ways of keeping track of everything that is going on in your practice. Each category of report is essential in some manner to making sure that your practice is successful. The missing patient report means that your staff can really keep track of those people that should have been in that have not. The master lists make sure that you know everything that is in the system. The daily transaction recap can actually be a recap for any period of time that you choose. The financial statistics can be used for any time period that you want. For collections, there are two reports that work hand in hand with each other, the aged patient accounts and the insurance claims outstanding, so that you can follow up with either the patient or the insurance carrier, depending upon which is necessary. The other reports are all things that can benefit you as well. Also in the Tools area, you will have access to the SmartPad template editor, which allows you to modify those letters which were previously discussed. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video about the ChiroOffice program. It is sure to make your office more efficient and a nicer place to work because it will improve collections, it will save time, and reduce costs. All of this leads to a more efficient, more productive office for you. May you be blessed with success.